It's 10:44 p.m. on a Monday, and you're sitting on the edge of your bed, phone in one hand, the charger cable still hanging loose in the other. The room is dark except for the light of the screen, and somewhere down the hall a dishwasher runs through its last cycle. You haven't opened the message, you're just looking at it, the way you always do first, reading the preview line before you commit to reading the whole conversation. 31 unread messages. The same 7 names you've had saved in your phone since you were 14 years old, back when none of you had jobs or rent or anything resembling a plan. 2 of them you haven't spoken to outside this chat in over a year. One of them, Tyler, has been in it since day 1. You know this chat better than you know some of your own bank statements. You know its rhythms, its inside jokes, and the exact order the same 4 people always reply in. At the top of the screen, one line sits waiting. Still owes me $20 from junior year, laugh out loud emoji. $20. A joke that has now outlived 3 of your phones, 2 of your apartments, 1 relationship, and an entire career none of the people in that chat have ever asked you a single real question about. Not once in 17 years has anyone in that thread asked what you actually do for a living beyond the one-line answer you gave when you were 19. Hold that number in your mind for a second, that $20, because in a few minutes, it's going to mean something very different than it does right now. And by the end of this story, it's going to mean something different to you too. This is the story of how the broke one in a 7-person group chat spent 17 years quietly becoming worth more than every other person in it combined, and never once corrected them. You are 18. Balance $340. Every dollar of it earned in cash, folded into an envelope you keep in a shoebox because the checking account you technically have still has your name spelled wrong on the card and you've never bothered to fix it. You've been adding to that envelope since you were 16, $5 and $10 at a time, and you've never once told anyone how much is actually in it. Graduation is 3 weeks away, and the group chat has been planning a trip to Cancun since March. Flights booked, a beachfront room split 6 ways, a group photo everyone's already picked a caption for before the trip has even happened. You tell them you can't make it. Work schedule, you say. That part is technically true. What you don't say is that you sat with a calculator open on your phone one night, ran the numbers on what 4 years of compounding can turn $340 into if you left it alone, and quietly closed the group chat without typing anything else. Across town, Tyler is filming himself revving the engine of the car his parents just leased him as a graduation present. It's the first car any of you have ever owned that didn't come from a for sale sign in someone's front yard. He posts a video before the sun's fully up. The caption says, "Made it." By breakfast, the chat has flooded with fire emojis and somebody's already asked him for a ride. Nobody claps for the money you don't spend. They only ever clap for the money they can see. You are 21. Balance $2,120, most of it sitting quietly in a low-cost index fund you opened by yourself on a laptop you bought used off a classified site. You're pulling warehouse shifts around a community college schedule, buying the store brand version of everything, eating the same 4 meals on rotation, because you did the math on that too. The chat is planning Cabo for spring break. You do the math on rent versus a phone upgrade you've been putting off for 8 months, and the upgrade loses again. You say you can't make it. Of course you can't, someone writes, half joking, half not, followed by a laughing emoji. Nobody waits for you to respond. The conversation moves on without you in under a minute, the way it always does now. Tyler goes to Cabo on a credit card he opened the week before the trip. The photos are incredible. Infinity pool, sunset, a caption about main character energy. Everyone in the chat calls it living his best life. The comments under his post run past 60 within a day. Somebody asks him how he affords it. He just posts a laughing emoji back. They mistook your silence for struggle. It was never struggle. It was strategy. And strategy doesn't post pictures. You are 24. Balance $18,400. You've landed a real job now. Junior level, unglamorous, the kind of title nobody asks follow-up questions about. But the paycheck is steady, and almost none of it touches your day-to-day life. You're still driving the same Prius you bought with cash at 19, the one with a crack in the bumper nobody's ever offered to help you fix. The crack has been there for 2 years. You've priced out the repair twice and decided both times it isn't worth touching the $18,400. At a wedding that summer, someone jokes about the car loud enough for the valet to hear it. You laugh along. It's easier than explaining a decision nobody in that parking lot would understand yet. That same month, Tyler leases a BMW and tags all 7 of you in the photo. "Some of us made it," the caption reads. He posts a second photo a week later, this time next to the car, captioned with a stack of money emojis. 3 weeks later, he texts you privately, not the group, just you, asking if you can float him $500 until his next paycheck clears. You send it without a follow-up question. He pays it back 2 weeks late, then turns around and tells a story in the group chat like it's a funny anecdote about being tight that month. You let him tell it. You didn't correct them. Correcting people is expensive. Being underestimated is free, and you've learned to spend it wisely. You are 26. Balance $52,000. A coworker glances at your phone screen over your shoulder in the break room one afternoon and catches half a second of a brokerage app before you flip it face down. "Didn't peg you for a stock guy," she says, half joking. You shrug and change the subject. And by the time you're back at your desk, you've already decided you're not bringing it up again. Not to her, not to anyone in the group chat, not to anyone at all. That same week, Tyler posts a photo from a rooftop bar downtown, captioned with 3 flame emojis and a location tag. Somebody in the chat asks if he's hiring since he always seems to have money for a good night out. He laughs it off. Nobody follows up. The people who ask the fewest questions about your money are usually the ones who'd be most surprised by the answer. You are 27. Balance $95,000. You buy a small condo. Nothing that would impress anyone, furnished slowly with things other people were getting rid of on the side of the road, and the group starts planning a bachelor weekend in Vegas, the kind with a per-person cost that would have bought you your first car twice over. You decline, citing work again. You spend that weekend instead replacing the water heater in the condo yourself, working off a video you found online. The tutorial takes 4 tries and 1 trip to the hardware store, but by Sunday night, the condo has hot water again, and you're out $40 instead of $3,000. Nobody questions your decline this time. It's simply understood by now that you're the one who doesn't do the expensive things. Tyler goes, obviously. He posts the whole weekend in real time, and from a phone screen, it looks like the best 3 days of anyone's year. 2 months later, his car gets repossessed off his own driveway on a Tuesday morning while he's still asleep. The version that reaches the group chat is about some bank mess-up, not a missed payment. Nobody asks a second question. Nobody in that chat ever does. Debt looks exactly like freedom, for exactly as long as nobody asks to see the receipts. You're 30. Balance $310,000. You close on your first rental property, a small 2-bedroom 40 minutes outside the city. Nothing anyone would post about. And when the group asks why you moved, you just say you found a better deal on rent. You spend the moving weekend alone unpacking boxes with a radio on. And nobody in the chat offers to help because nobody knows there's anything to help with. Nobody asks a second question. Nobody in that chat has ever thought to ask you a second question about anything involving money. Ask yourself what $310,000 actually buys at 30 that a leased BMW never could. It isn't a car, it isn't a watch, it's the right to never have to explain yourself to anyone in that chat again. That same year, Tyler starts pushing something new in the group, a business opportunity, he calls it, the kind that needs everyone in early to really work. You read the message once and never reply. 2 people quietly put in a few $100s each, mostly so they don't look like they doubted him out loud. He posts screenshots of a dashboard climbing upward, the kind of chart that only seems to go one direction until eventually it doesn't. Nobody in the chat brings it up again after that. It just disappears, the way these things always do. Ambition without patience doesn't build anything, it just moves the same hole to a different address. You are 33. Balance $780,000. The group finally gets everyone in the same room again. A reunion dinner, 7 years in the making, at a restaurant somebody else picked. You show up in the same jacket you've worn to the last 4 of these, driving the same car you've had since you were 24. The appetizers arrive before anyone notices you've ordered the cheapest thing on the menu. Same as always. Somebody brings up the $20 joke again halfway through the meal. The one from junior year. The one that's followed you into your 30s without ever once being updated. You laugh along like you always do. It's a good bit at this point. You've let it live for 15 years. No reason to stop it now. Tyler shows up 40 minutes late, wearing a watch that very clearly isn't his. He texted 20 minutes earlier that traffic was bad. There was no traffic that night. By the time the check comes, he's excused himself to the bathroom twice. That night, after everyone's gone home, Tyler messages the group. Not you specifically, everyone this time, asking if anybody can help cover his rent. Just this month, he writes. Tight until Friday. Nobody answers right away. You don't either. Sit with that for a second. 7 people in that chat. One of them worth $750,000 none of them know about. And the message just sits there, unread, the way yours used to. You're 35, balance $1.4 million. You wire the final payment on the rental property that morning before work, quietly, the same way you've done everything for 17 years. No announcement, no post, nobody copied on the confirmation email but you. That night, the group chat lights up again. The same 7 names. The same rhythm you've known since you were 14 years old. 17 years since the envelope in the shoebox. 17 years of the same joke. Recycled at every dinner, every group chat lull, every slow Tuesday night. And there it is, sitting at the top of the screen, exactly where it always is. Still owes me $20 from junior year. Except this time, underneath it, there's a second message. From Tyler. Not a joke this time. Does anyone actually have $20 I can borrow till Friday? Not playing RN. Nobody's answered yet. It's 11:56 p.m. on a Tuesday, and you're sitting on the edge of your bed, phone in hand, thumb hovering over the exact same notification you started with. You know something now that you didn't know at the start of the story. The joke was never really about you. In 17 years, it's the one prediction that whole group chat ever got right about anyone in it. It just had the wrong name attached the entire time. You think about the $500 from when you were 24. You think about the reunion and the rent request nobody answered, and every version of this conversation you've quietly opted out of for almost 2 decades. None of it was ever really about the money. It was about who got to decide, every single time, whether tonight was the night everything finally got explained. So tell me, 17 years of being the broke one, 17 years of a joke that was never once true, sitting one text away from finally being corrected. The message is right there, unread. Are you going to answer it tonight?